Have you ever eaten a Ferrero Rocher chocolate? They are certainly one of the most popular chocolate brands on the planet. With a wafer layer, cocoa paste, and hazelnuts covered by a layer of chocolate with crushed hazelnuts, each piece is wrapped in gold foil and presented in a beautiful tray. But while many people have enjoyed these chocolate delights, very few know the story of how they were invented. And even that Ferrero Rocher is responsible for several other products that millions of people enjoy every day. The company is now worth an incredible $13.6 billion. And it all started with a young man in Italy who worked in his bakery and had a brilliant idea. In Alba, Italy, Michele Ferrero was born in 1925 to parents Pietro and Piera. His father was a trained pastry chef and owned a small bakery where he made delicious treats for their small town. One of his most popular creations was a rich chocolate spread that he called pasta gianduja. The spread became the bakery's best-selling item, and it was so beloved that Alba became famous for it around Italy. In 1946, Pietro officially formed the company Ferrero with his brother Giovanni. The idea was to grow their small bakery and chocolate shop into a widespread and financially successful company. Throughout Michele's childhood, he worked alongside his father in the bakery, learning the trade. But sadly, his father Pietro died when he was only 51 years old. And shockingly, only 10 years later, his uncle Giovanni passed away as well. That just left a young Michele in charge of the new Ferrero business. It's safe to say that while Pietro worked hard to create a unique product and start a successful business, he never could have imagined that his son Michele would turn that business into a multi-billion-dollar empire and become the richest person in Italy. But that is exactly what was about to happen. The popular spread that Pietro had invented was made from rich chocolate and hazelnuts, as the nuts were readily available in Italy, even during the war. But the spread was really more like a chocolate bar that needed to be cut before use and was difficult to spread. The first change Michele made to his father's recipe was to make the spread creamier and easier to eat. Instead of selling the ganache in bars, he created what he called the super crema, which was sold in a jar. And it was an instant success. Michele was able to keep costs low by using a marginal amount of chocolate, as well as hazelnuts and palm oil. Italians around the country couldn't get enough of his spread, and because of it, chocolate was no longer considered a luxury. It was an everyday item for many homes. Because it was sold in a jar, people used his super crema just as they did other spreads. It could be kept on the shelf and last much longer than standard chocolate. In order to increase sales outside of their region, Michele decided to fund a truck that was painted with the Ferrero logo to drive around Italy and give free chocolate to children. This tactic proved exceptionally lucrative as now, people from all around Italy knew the Ferrero name. After only 10 years at the helm of the company, Ferrero had opened 3 new factories outside of Italy. One of his most successful ideas was to open factories in Germany. He used old missile factories that were no longer needed after the war and turned them into candy manufacturing plants. But that was only the start. In 1964, Michele decided to rename his spread from Super Crema to Nutella, a name that is now synonymous with chocolate hazelnut spread around the world. The idea was simple. The name Nutella used the English word nut with the Italian-like ending. Michele knew that if he wanted to expand globally, English was the way to go. The Nutella recipe was slightly different from Super Crema, and Michele was sure to keep his recipe a complete secret from the world. In fact, there has never been a tour of a Nutella factory for anyone outside the company, as Michele always wanted to ensure that no one else could replicate his product. Throughout the 70s, Nutella became a sensation all around Europe for children and adults alike, and by 1983, Michele had made his dream of globalization a reality when he started selling the spread in the United States. Even though Nutella had officially made it as one of the world's most popular chocolate products, Michele didn't stop there. In fact, over the years, as Nutella was making its way around the world, Michele was spending much of his time working on recipes for other products. One of Michele's other important creations was the Kinder chocolate bar. He started selling the product at the end of the 1960s, and it was marketed solely to children. Kinder actually means children in German, as the product was made and sold almost exclusively in Germany. At first, Kinder chocolate bars were a simple but delicious combination of classic ingredients. However, over the years, Kinder expanded, and eventually there were dozens of types of Kinder chocolates for sale in Germany and around the world. Then in 1979, Michele released another product that would change the world of confectionery chocolate forever: Ferrero Rocher. Named after the company itself, Michele felt that this product would be the epitome of everything he and his father had created. The Rocher in the product is named after a grotto in Italy, dedicated to the Virgin Mary. The story goes that Michele visited the grotto and was so inspired by its beauty that he decided to dedicate his new creation to it. Michele continued to visit and pay thanks to the grotto several times throughout the remainder of his life. Ferrero Rocher chocolates were made up of 3 layers: a full hazelnut surrounded by Nutella, wrapped in a wafer shell, and topped with rich chocolate and crushed hazelnuts. Then each spherical piece is wrapped in gold foil and served in a paper cup. Because of the style of the packaging, Ferrero Rocher chocolates look luxurious and expensive. They quickly became popular not only for their delicious flavor, but because the boxes were so beautiful. They were chosen as gifts during the holiday season. With Kinder chocolates, Nutella, and then Ferrero Rocher Delights, by the 1990s, Ferrero was officially one of the leading confectionery companies in the world. Michele didn't only excel at creating popular products for the world, he also was an expert marketer. Many people didn't even realize that Nutella, Kinder, and Ferrero Rocher are made by the same company, because he purposefully kept the advertisements and marketing for each product separate. Kinder was marketed exclusively to children, Nutella as a healthy and affordable product for the home, and Ferrero Rocher as the perfect luxurious gift without a ridiculous price tag. As a company, Ferrero is known for its political neutrality, as well as its grassroots investments in the towns which host their factories. All in all, Michele succeeded at creating a company that no one could say a bad word about. As we now know, with his delicious creations, marketing strategies, and good company values, Ferrero became wildly successful into the new millennium. By 1997, Michele's 2 sons, Giovanni and Pietro, named after his father and his uncle, who had started the company all those years ago, had taken on leading roles within the company and were essentially running the show. But sadly, in 2011, Pietro died while cycling in South Africa. So when Michele passed away at the age of 89 in 2015, Giovanni became the sole CEO and captain of the Ferrero ship, and he still is to this day. At the time of his death, Michele was the richest man in all of Italy, with a personal net worth of about $25 billion. While many people are never able to see their creations become a worldwide sensation, Michele certainly did. The small chocolate store and bakery that his father opened became the world's largest and most lucrative chocolate company, and there's no doubt in anyone's mind that Michele made that happen. When Giovanni took over the company when his father passed, he officially became the richest man in Italy, with a personal net worth of $37.6 billion. And he has proven to be equally as successful so far as his father was, though he is certainly more of a businessman than a chocolatier. Over the past decade, instead of making new products, Giovanni has focused on acquiring other companies to increase the empire's reach. In fact, in 2018, he invested $2.8 billion to purchase Nestle, its then largest competitor. The company is now known as Ferrero S.p.A. brands and owns a variety of other companies such as Keebler, Thornton's, Tic Tac, and makes several other popular candies such as Baby Ruth's, Famous Amos cookies, Butterfingers, and Crunch bars. Although they certainly have a wide variety of offerings, their main products are still the creations of Michele, including Kinder chocolates, Nutella, and Ferrero Rocher. In fact, Ferrero makes such an incredible amount of Nutella and Ferrero Rocher chocolates that the company is responsible for using 25% of the world's hazelnuts. If you can believe it, over 250,000 tons of Nutella, 3.6 billion units of Ferrero Rocher, and billions of Kinder chocolates are sold around the world every year. And although Michele and now his son Giovanni have experienced immense success, they have stayed true to their Italian roots and have done amazing things for the town of Alba, where the company began and Michele was born. The headquarters of the global empire are still in the small town of Alba, and Michele spent much of his later years ensuring that the residents of Alba and his workers had everything they needed to succeed in life. As over 1/3 of the town's residents work for Ferrero in some capacity, there's no doubt that the town revolves around the company itself. It's incredibly impressive to see a family-run company that has made billions of dollars remain a valued part of a small community, as usually they end up looking out for only the bottom line, but the Ferrero family has done exactly that. To think that this empire started with an Italian pastry chef who loved to create new recipes and a son who took his father's passion and created an empire makes the story of Ferrero Rocher one of the best in the business. Hungry for another fascinating business story? Click on the following video to hear the crazy story about the homeless teen who created Disney with his last few coins.